Our last problem to evaluate is 2g squared minus gh minus 7. So when we go through that same substitution process, we'll put a negative 3 in place of the g both times that it occurs, and a 5 in place of the h. So following order of operations to solve this, we're going to want to square the negative 3 first, which will give us 9 times 2, which is 18. Then do the multiplication. Negative 3 times 5 is a negative 15 minus 7. These two negatives, subtracting a negative, remember, gives us a positive. And the negative 7 will carry down one more time. And for our final step, 18 plus 15 is 33, and subtracting 7 gives us a final answer of 26. Now it's time for a few more terms. There are several properties that we're going to be using to evaluate and simplify algebraic expressions, and then eventually to solve algebraic equations. The first one of these is the commutative property. We illustrate this by saying that A times B is equal to B times A, or that A plus B is equal to B plus A. Really what we're getting here is that in addition and multiplication, changing the order doesn't change the answer. So this is a property I'm sure all of you already knew. You may just not have known that it had the name commutative property. The way I think about this is the commute that you take every day to get to school. When you drive from your house to the school, or take the bus from your house to the school, and then at the end of the day return from school back to your house, you're still making the same trip. So if you can think of what commuting means, you can remember what it means in math as well. The associative property says that the way that we group addition and multiplication won't change the answer. So A plus B, if we added A and B first and then added C, we'd get the same answer as we would if we added B and C first and then added A. The same is true for multiplication. A times B times C is the same thing as multiplying B times C first and then multiplying A. So to summarize this, when we're adding or multiplying, changing changing grouping doesn't matter. A couple more properties. The identity property is the property that says that there is one number and one number only that you can add to A that will not change A's identity. That number is 0. There's also an identity property for multiplication. The one number that you can multiply by A and still get A is the number 1. So we call this property the identity property. The 0 is called the additive identity, and 1 is referred to as the multiplicative identity. So if you really want to surprise your significant other in a very nerdy way, you can tell them tonight that they are your multiplicative identity. So you'd be telling them that they are the one for you. Bad math joke. Have to throw those in